understand how the stem cells work, let us take a look at this picture. In that picture, I have already discussed it, or the process of, or what is the embryonic stem cells. So the exciting promise of these embryonic stem cells is that they can develop into any tissues, and they may give us the ability to restore damaged heart or spine tissue. So this suggests that the damaged heart muscles of or heart attack victims might be repairable with stem cells, and that injured spinal cords might be repairable. These very promising experiments are being pursued aggressively. They are, however, quite controversial, as embryonic stem cells are typically isolated from tissues of discarded or aborted embryos, raising serious ethical issues. So, it is because embryonic stem cells are usually taken from embryos that are very early in development, like a few days old. You can get these super powerful stem cells from a developed baby. By then, most cells have already decided what they are, like skin, muscle, and etc. That leads that there is this controversy, or there is this raising of ethical issues, because it involves now there's this discarded embryo or abortion. So let us proceed to the transplanted tissue specific stem cells cure MS, or the multiple sclerosis in mice. So in pathfinding 1999 laboratory experiments by Dr. Evan Sender of Harvard Medical School, tissue-specific stem cells were able to restore lost brain tissue. He and his co-workers injected neutral stem cells, or the intermediate descendants of embryonic stem cells that are able to become any kind of neutral cells, into the brain of a newborn mice with a disease resembling multiple sclerosis or MS. These mice lack the cells that maintain the layers of myelin in, insulation around signaling conducting nerves. The injecting stem cells migrated all over the brain and were able to convert themselves into the missing type of cell. The new cells then proceeds to repair the ravages of the disease by replacing the lost insulation of signal conducting nerve cells. Many of the treated mice fully recovered. In mice, at least, tissue specific stem cells offer a treatment for MS, or multiple sclerosis. Now proceed to the transplanted stem cells reverse juvenile diabetes in mice. Very promising experiments carried out in 2000 by Dr. Amon Peak and a team of researchers at the University of Florida concern a particularly vexing problem, that of type 1 or juvenile diabetes. What is a juvenile diabetes? A person with juvenile diabetes lacks insulin-producing pancreas cells because their immune system has mistakenly turned against them and destroyed them. They are no longer able to produce enough insulin to control their blood sugar levels, and must take in insulin daily. Adding back new insulin-producing cells called islet cells has been tried many times but doesn't work well. Immune cells continue to destroy them. So, in order to cope up with this problem, this scientist made up another experiment which involves mice again, and mice as their subject. So, to fully understand the purpose of this experiment, let us take a look at this picture. So, in simple terms, transplanted stem cells may allow us to replace damaged or lost tissues, offering cures for many disorders that cannot now be treated. Current work focuses on tissue-specific stem cells, which do not present the ethical problems that embryonic stem cells do. So, as what can you observe in these experiments is both have the same purpose, maybe in different problems, but has the same purpose. And that purpose is to cure diseases, repair tissues that will help to cure diseases in humans. So there are advantages of biotechnology and genetic engineering that potentially has a great impact in our lives, but there is this then ethics and regulation. What are the disadvantages, the potential cost, and dangers of genetic engineering? Many people, including influential activists and members of the scientific community, have expressed concerns that genetic engineers are playing God by tampering with genetic material. So there are these peoples that are concerned of the effects or the results of genetic engineering, especially those people who are a uh, devoted members of their religion, and it expressed concerns that genetic engineers are playing God. It means that they are concerned about this result because there is the tampering of genetic material, which is for them it's not good because it only means that you're not satisfied or you're not contented with what has God given you. So there are two sets of risk need to be considered. The first stems from eating genetically modified foods, and the other concerns potential ecological effects. So the first one is eating genetically modified food dangerous? And are this GM or genetically modified harmful to the environment? So that are the questions or that are the concerns related to this um, genetic engineering results. So, is eating genetically modified food dangerous? Protesters worry that genetically modified food may have been rendered somehow dangerous. To sort this out, it is useful to bear in mind that bioengineers modify crops in two quite different ways. One class of gene modification makes the crop easier to grow. A second class of modification is intended to improve the food itself. So the introduction of Roundup resistant soybean to Europe is an example of the first class of modification. This modification has been very popular with farmers in the United States who planted half their crop with soybeans in 1999. They like GM soybeans because the beans can be raised without intense cultivation. Weeds are killed with Roundup herbicides instead, which both saves money and lessens soil erosion. So in the second class of modification, where a gene is added to improve the nutritional character of some food, the food will be nutritionally different. In each of these instances, it is necessary to examine the possibility that consumers may prove allergic to the product of the introduced gene. So on both scores, the risk of bioengineering to the food supply seems to be very slight. Genetically modified foods to date seem completely safe. There is the genetically modified crops harmful to the environment? So on either score, the risk of bioengineering to the environment seems to be very slight. Indeed, in some cases, it lessens the serious environmental damage produced by cultivation and agricultural pesticides. So we can't really deny the fact that there are disadvantages of this result or the result of genetic engineering, but we can't deny the fact that there are also advantages, especially in relates to our medicines and agricultural crops that helps us in our daily lives. So, in conclusion, genetic engineering affords us great opportunities for progress in medicine and food production. Although many are concerned about possible risks, on balance, the risk appears slight and the potential benefits substantial. And that's all, and that will be all. Thank you.